so I'm going to use this one. It's actually just called an events template, but you can, these are basically their themes, and they can look like anything you want them to look like. And we have some starters here, but they would be your brand or your individual brands. And so we're going to click on this one to start. And again, we're walking you through a little process. Select a template, build your page. If there's a form on the page, you got to give them a thank you page for filling out the form. So that's what your response page is here. Some basic settings, and then you can publish this page. So we'll do a register to win. And you can give it an HTML title if you want, a description. Failure URL is going to act like a 301 redirect. So if your promotion ends and someone tries to go to that link, where do you want to send them to? You could send them to the current, if you have a new promotion, you could send them there. You could send them to maybe your promotions page or something like that. The URL for the page, and we own some domains, hostedlandingpages.net.com. You can use those. We don't really want you to use those. We just have to have something to start with. But if you have no other options, you're welcome to use them. It's just not good branding. What we'd rather have you do is set up something like campari.hostedlandingpages.net or .com or something, and at least you've got your brand in there. Ultimately, the better way to do it would be something like promotions.campari.com and point that to our server. So that's a little technical moment with whoever your web team is, and then you can use that URL, and it's a fully branded URL. It makes the most sense. But for our demo today, we have to leave it here since none of the other stuff is set up. So. All right, so we're going to save, and we'll go. Let's go. We didn't even edit our page here. Sorry about that. Again, we'll go to full screen mode with this guy right here, and notice that I've got some variables in here. The cool thing about this is that if I send you an email and you click through, I know who you are, so this page can still be personalized for you. Now, if I also have a link from Facebook, I don't know who you are, so they're going to see welcome. In this case, register to win. All right, so we can just go in here and edit our copy to say register to win. You can still have that dynamic content, that conditional content that says, well, if I know who you are and you're an advocate, you're going to get this. Otherwise, I don't know who you are and you're going to get this. And here's our form to register. So if we want to edit that form, I'll show you what that looks like. We're just asking for first name, last name, email, but we know that we do a birthday club. So let's try and get date of birth from them if we don't have it. We won't require that. It's probably a barrier for some people that wouldn't give it to you. And then do you want to try and opt them in for mobile at the same time? So we'll click save on that. And this is all of your standard fields and all of your custom fields. And each of these can be set up to feed back into your CRM. So you get your new subscribers that'll pass over to your CRM. So we'll save. And there's real quick some options here. Is this a live survey is what this button is here, but this is register to win. And you have some theme options. If you get hit by bots, you might want to show a CAPTCHA. So that's just going to show Google's I'm not a robot. And then do you want to put these people into a group? So this, you probably do. It's the January register to win. And that way we can go sort through and pick our winner when it's time to pick the winner. And we'll close. So we got our hidden field there, and we'll save that, and we'll close. And so let's just assume that that's everything we wanted for this register to win campaign. But point out though that this is just like building an email. So you have these layout parts, and this would control your responsive design, all the stacking order here, all the content types we had before, but some additional ones. So we have that form builder. We could drop in a survey. Again, countdown timers. Now you can have YouTube and Vimeo content, right? Because it's a landing page, so it's fair game. Again, the conditional content, and then you have the content blocks as well. All right, so because we had a form on our page, we have to have a thank you page or a response page. We're going to use the create a page, and we're going to use the page we just created as our starting point because it's got the look and feel we already want. And then I'm going to go back in here, and I'm just going to I'm going to delete the form, and I'm going to change my copy to say, hey, thanks for registering. Watch for an email in your inbox, and we'll be picking a winner on XYZ date. If you would like to be notified every time somebody does that, we can say new register to win. And who did that go to? So it can be anybody that has a user tied to the emfluence platform. So we're going to send a copy to Dave every time someone registers to win. Now, this could get highly obnoxious if you get a whole bunch of people registering. So what I would do if that was important to me, I would create a rule in Outlook that says every time this subject line comes into my inbox, put it in a folder. And then I could just go scan that folder. But you also don't have to use it at all. So we're going to save to the platform and to Dataverse. So that's Dynamics. And so what do we want to do? We have to make some decisions here as what do we want to do if they leave a field blank? So if we said last name is not required, and if they leave that blank, do we want to override CRM with a blank value? No, right? We want to keep their first name. So we'll say ignore it if it's blank. And then what should we do if somebody has opted out and they submit this form? Do we want to opt them back in? You can make that decision. And then we map to one or more entities in CRM. So you could map to leads and contacts if you wanted, but in this case, we're just mapped to leads. Now we can see what fields do we have mapped, and we could go, if some of them weren't mapped, we would go into our settings and map those fields. And then when this person fills out this form, do you want to create a new record in Dataverse every time? That means there could be 20 david@emfluences.com in your CRM. Probably not, but some people have business rules where they want that. And that would be more along the lines of if someone was using leads, right? They don't want to overwrite something, so just create a new lead and I'll sort them out later. But what you probably want to do is try and match based on the email address. Is there already David@emfluence in there? If so, let's go update his record. And again, do we want to ignore the blank values in the fields, or do we want to overwrite them with his existing data? So if we're all good there, we click the next, and this is just who on your team can edit this landing page. And then we can actually publish this page. So we set it to active and save. And you can have an end date, start date, and end date. So if you're working, if you have quarterly campaigns, you already know what the third quarter campaign is. You can create the content now and say, well, it doesn't start until October 1st. So we'll click save, and then we can actually go take a look at this page. So it is a live page. It is going to feed a group in Emfluence right now. And if we had that auto response, hey, thanks for registering email, that would trigger immediately. Then all that data, if you choose to, can populate back over to Dynamics. So the fact that an email was sent, the fact that email was clicked, open, that is one of the nice things about our system is that if you don't want all that data in your CRM, you don't have to push it over.